Sam also studied politics, philosophy, and economics at the University of Oxford, and is a member of the Barrie class of '99. Please welcome Sam Arora.
Thank you all very much. And Tanya, thank you for just very generous and kind introduction. To Mike Fanning, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and all of the trustees, Headmaster Charlie Eagleman, Middle and Upper School Head Joanna Hode, and other administrators here today, to the faculty and staff, to all the family and friends here today, and of course, most of all, to you, ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2011. Congratulations on your graduation, and thank you so much for letting me be here to share in this moment with you. Eric, the last time I was at a Barrie graduation, standing at the podium as the class speaker, the hair, parts of the hair on my head were recovering from a mohawk, and so they were growing out. The rest of which had returned to its natural color after several years on hiatus. That I now serve as your state representative in Annapolis, therefore must partially be to the absence of Facebook and camera phones in that era. You might find it not so lucky. I truly am honored to serve our community in Annapolis, and it is just a special privilege to be invited to return to Barrie, which holds a uniquely cherished part of my memories and a special place in my heart. I was, as some of you are, a Barrie lifer, and I think that many of you will agree that there is something very special about this community here. And even as you itch to remove those stylish mortar boards from your head, I think that as you leave high school behind, there's going to be something profound you will miss about Barrie. And most likely, I think it's going to be the people. One part could be the friendships of those seated beside you. You spend ample and probably seemingly endless hours with each other. You probably know each other well, and given the size the Barrie class tends to be, you probably know each other's business exceedingly well. You've been knit together closely in friendship, but also inevitably with a certain sense of community and ethos that just seems to be unique to Barrie. But a second, and I might suggest more important part of the community are those seated in front of you. I think that, I hope that you will explicitly recognize those lives who have enabled your lives. Those whom, but for their pouring into you, you would not lead the life you live. Those, but for whom, had they not poured into you, you would not be here today. Some of the examples of these people will be obvious to you if for no other reason that you're facing them. But even today, as we celebrate you graduates, I wonder if you might take a moment to think of those who have cleared the way to you. And as you consider that idea, their immediate care for you might become obvious. Perhaps there was a point of crisis in your high school or middle school career where someone was there for you. Maybe it was helping you through the college and postgraduate process, post-secondary school process. Maybe, just maybe, it might be that someone cared enough for you to pay over $100,000 for your education. I see the parents nodding, okay. But there have been thousands of more inconspicuous ways that you have been poured into, and I hope that you will consider that as you leave this place. And let me tell you a brief story about Charlie Plum. He's a retired captain in the United States Navy. He graduated from the Naval Academy in Annapolis, was trained as an aviator and an early class graduate of the Naval Fighter Weapons School, which we now call Top Gun. He flew 74 successful combat missions over northern Vietnam during the war on the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk. It was on his 75th mission over Hanoi when he was 5 days from being at the end of his tour that he was shot down. He was captured by the northern Vietnamese and put in prison as a POW for 6 years. He was tortured and sat in a cell next to his flight instructor, a notable man by the name of John McCain. Afterward, he was repatriated to his country, to America. He served honorably and in distinguished ways for 28 years before retiring, highly decorated. Now, not long ago, Charlie Plum was at a Kansas City restaurant, eating, working on some outside work he was doing, when he was approached by someone he did not know. That person said, "You are Captain Plum. You flew jet fighters in Vietnam. You flew on the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk. You were shot down. You parachuted into enemy hands. You were a POW. You were tortured." Now, Charlie Plum was, as you can imagine, shocked, dumbfounded. He asked, "How in the world did you know all of that?" The man replied, "Because I packed your parachute." Now, they got to talking for a while, and Charlie eventually asked the man, "Well, do you keep track of all the parachutes you packed while you were on the aircraft carrier?" And the man said, No. It's just gratification enough to know that I served." Well, I don't know about you, that's really profound to me. And when I read this story some time ago, I just thought about sitting where you are now and how it must feel. You are being celebrated, but you're looking at those who are celebrating you, and so many of them are the people that poured into you. Many in ways that you may never know, and they will never tell you, and they may have never thought twice about. As a matter of routine, the man in the restaurant had done something small, something prosaic, something that was his job. And that seemingly small task fundamentally changed, and in this case, saved another person's life. Graduates, you are poised to hold bold and successful lives here and around the world, I have no doubt. Tomorrow, you will begin writing that next thrilling chapter in your autobiography. And there's a blank page and such opportunity for your pen. So I think this may be a wise day to begin thinking about how you learn to write. Someone some long ago taught you how to do that, how to hold a pencil. On the day dedicated to your success, I wonder if you are thinking intentionally about how you are pouring into other people's lives and the effects you will have and the effects you have had. Now, that's not a radically new way of thinking for anyone in the Barrie community. I think that is part of our ethos, part of our DNA as Barrie and now as an alumnus. I think it's echoed in so many things you've done in the community service program that is just such an integral part of your high school experience, and even in the internships. You have been prepared to be good citizens. When I was in your seat, I thought very hard about what I had learned from people who shaped my life, people who are here like Versus, like Ernie, and people who aren't here like Garrett Phelan and Catherine Ham changed my life. Friends like Greg Fuller, even, who I continue to be close with, and you will continue to be friends with people on this stage. I think about my mother and father, people who encouraged me to get into the field of public service back when I thought I was going to be a theater major. Yep. Whoops. But they said they saw potential in me and encouraged me to explore this path as graduates. I'm sure many have done to you in open doors that you did not know existed. They prepared me for service in innumerable ways that I couldn't begin to count, even had I the time. But really, what I think about also now, as someone who's now 30 years old, in the midst of many crash landings in my admittedly short career, they have been there even when I didn't see them, because they had packed my parachute in the way that they had prepared me. You are successful here and today in large part because of the support that many who have cared for you in sacrificial and yet sometimes, many times, unnoticed ways. You too will be that for others. Think about that deliberately. Finally, on a day dedicated to your success, I hope you will consider their care, and equally important, I challenge you to think about, once again, how you will pour into another's life as you leave this stage in this building. It's precisely why I am here today. So now, why are you here? Well, given my challenge to you, I suppose that it is fitting that here today you are not graduating. You probably know this. You are not graduating by your own agency, at least. You are being graduated by your teachers and the trustees. They are graduating you. They are adjudging you as qualified to receive a diploma, not just any diploma, a diploma from the Barrie School. That means something. Indeed, you have, well, with what you learned here, you are qualified to do much more than what your diploma says. And I cannot wait to see that on display as your stories unfold. Thank you very much for letting me share this moment.